So really excited to have this next guest on, a legend of the news world, in my mind at least. Maybe not yours, but really it's a pleasure to have you on today. Josh Rubin, who is the now creative director of the Daily Dot, is that?
Yeah, it sounds as good as any. Managing director of creative strategy.
Okay. Manager of creative strategy at Daily Dot and prior at CNN, correct?
Yeah.
So just a really incredible background in news and really a big fan of the stuff you guys are doing at the Daily Dot. So great to have you on here. So yeah, just basically want to just talk about what you guys are doing at the Daily Dot in terms of overall audience engagement. Like, what does that look like for you? What is the primary thing you're focusing on in terms of engagement? Is it Facebook likes? Is it getting people to buy stuff on the store? Like, what is the main thing you're really trying to get people to do as Daily Dot audience members?
So it very much depends on the platform. So when you're talking about Facebook, for example, there's really only one metric I care about, and that is someone tagging a friend, because it is the internet equivalent of, dude, I was just talking about this thing. We were just thinking about this. We were just talking about this. And that's that moment of spark, especially when you're talking about what is the call to action that you're looking to get out of somebody.
Sure.
As a content driver, Facebook is there, but it's not what it once was, and I doubt it ever will be again. As a engagement tool for retargeting for e-commerce is actually very powerful. So for that kind of content, I'm looking to inject things into their timeline that resonate with them, that they were looking at a product that engages them, that they want to purchase, that they want to buy, because that is what's going to then make my ad sponsors happy. On site, it's a different kind of CTA. Like, how are they coming to me? Are they coming to me direct? Are they coming to me via Google? Or are they coming to me via discovery? Your engagement metrics are different for each one of those vectors.
Sure.
So on a discovery platform like Facebook, there's lots of things. It's a roadside on the highway. You put up the sign for the biggest ball of twine, some people will pull off the highway, some won't, but you do what you can with that platform. In search, you have to get into their heads and figure out what they're searching for, and you need to serve them. You are looking for this thing, I am going to give you the answers that you seek. That is the value of the search query.
Sure.
The most interesting in the longer term build for any brand is the direct, which means, have I acquired an email from you so I can start a direct conversation? Or are you, and there's less and less people doing this, logging into my website every day? Your core audience. How do you engage them? And at the Daily Dot, we try to engage them really by providing, high level content that is investigative, that is good journalism, on topics that don't necessarily always get high-level good journalism. And we try to be expansive and we try to be thorough, for that core audience. So it's, I would say it's the medium is dictating the message often for engagement.
Sure. Which platform? I guess two parts. Do you personally prefer to work on? And which platform is most effective for you guys overall?
There's no one answer to that. It's what is the best platform for what is the KPI, what is the end result that I'm looking to get.
Sure. Is that article by article, topic by topic, or is it in totality? Do you look at overall trends?
It's publishing. Pick your revenue stream.
Sure.
If I've got a revenue stream that's driven by programmatic advertising, then the traffic is the thing that I'm most concerned about. How do I drive the most clicks? Is that a Google play with SEO, or is there a discovery play where I can, I have a passionate audience on Facebook and I can serve them and give them content and then partner with influencers, or because things don't go viral like they once did because Facebook has clamped down on that. Or can I arbitrage on a platform like that? Can I pay Facebook to deliver my content at a low enough rate that I'm making money?
Sure.
On a traffic level.
Sure. On
an e-commerce level, can I provide the kind of things that people want to buy? And the best platform for that is Google. It's furthest down the funnel. And SEO. I'm searching to buy something. If they're looking to buy something and I am the search result that pops up, I have a good shot of them buying it from me.
Sure.
So I'm servicing them in that way. And at that point, Facebook is just for retargeting.
Sure.
Ultimately, the best direct engagement tool can be a podcast. It can be an email newsletter. It can be a YouTube show or channel in the comments. There's a lot of different vectors you can go.
The way you look at it, you'll look at the problem you're trying to solve or the thing you're trying to accomplish, and you'll pick the best platforms or the best distribution for it, depending on what it is.
It's a customer journey. just like there is a customer journey for e-commerce and retail, there is a customer journey for publishers, an audience journey, as it will. And people are shuffled into different buckets, and they come in for different reasons, and you have to serve them where they are, and you have to serve them with what they want. So it is a hell of a lot more complicated than, I have a paper. I put things in the paper goes out. Money.
Used to work.
Yeah, used to work. Will never work again. It is dead. Television still works for at least 20 more minutes. Sure. CNN and the cable nets will be raking in the money a little bit longer. It will stop. And it will stop because habits are changing, culture is shifting, and if your model is driven by advertising, let's face it, what is the goal of advertising? To make more money out of it than you put into it. In television and in newspapers, you could say that that's what you were accomplishing. Very hard to prove.
Sure.
With digital advertising, they have a much better picture of what they're spending and what they're making from that. So publishers have to roll with the times. So with the engagement side of things, it's what am I engaging them for?
Yep. Other two-part question, what topics do you like to talk about as a publisher? Like, what do you enjoy getting out there the most, and what are you finding as the Daily Dot audience? What are they responding to the most? What topics are most popular?
So do you mean as a publisher, like what do I like talking about, or what as a publisher like?
I guess you personally, from a publishing company, what, and as the person responsible for the decisions that you're making, what do you like to talk about, and then what is most popular with your audience?
Business models is what I like to talk about. Anybody in media right now that is not discussing new business models, shoring up business models, evolving business models, is missing the fucking boat. It is the only thing that matters right now. I don't you could, for journalism, VR for experiential journalism, don't give a shit. The only thing that matters right now is creating new business models, because the model is broken. And the model is broken because if you think about the origins of media, it's my newspaper against this newspaper. I need to beat them to market faster, because if I get the story and they don't, everyone has to buy my paper. That kind of competition doesn't exist anymore. There are no, I don't compete with Mike. I don't compete with Vox. You know who I compete with? Google and Facebook. That's who all publishers compete with for ad dollars. And we're always going to lose if we're operating in the legacy business model. So it is incumbent upon all of us to create the new models of media, because fundamentally, Facebook built itself off of our back, off of our content. Google builds itself off of our content. We need to, leverage them, learn from them, but develop our own business models that are sustainable. And we got to hustle to do it.
And I guess with Media ATX, which is an organization Josh is building here in Austin, a community, I guess that's a lot of what you're trying to get people to think about is what are the models that are going to be sustainable.
Well, for the models, the organization is really about sharing. The failure, it's been a bloodbath in publishing over the last year and a half, And I fundamentally think the reason for that is that nobody shares failure, because they still think we're competing, and they're ashamed. And that's fucking ridiculous. The only way, and I'm sorry I'm swearing so much.
Please.
The only way,
Internet.
fair. The only way we can grow and build is if we collaborate and share failure, so we can prevent each other from fucking up in exactly the same way. Everybody fell off the Facebook cliff together. We all knew it was coming. We didn't talk about it enough with each other and prepare for it. So the understanding that there are no competitors, there are only potential collaborators right now in the media space is where I live. And that's also about the convergence. Newspaper people, stop talking to newspaper people. Talk to TV people, talk to the radio, talk to film, talk to software and tech and other folks, because we need more cross-pollination, because y'all's out of ideas. And legacy businesses are structurally incapable of coming up with new business models while serving the old one.
Gotcha.
So that's what I love talking about.
And I guess just going back to the Daily Dot real quick, what topics are most important? I know you guys cover a variety of really interesting, maybe non-mainstream topics. Are those the ones that are driving most of the traffic? No,
it varies, but I think as we develop new business models, where I see the most opportunity for us is in the coverage of streaming content. Think about the shift that's happening from cable to streaming media, to binge watching, to Netflix, to Hulu, to all the services that are coming out, all the hardware that's coming out. The center of our entertainment universe has changed. how do you get that content? How do you know what to watch, what service to get, where to provide? So we've actually established a pretty lucrative business really covering that world of streaming media and covering it in depth. You know, where are the best places to watch NFL Red Zone once you get you're tired of cable?
Sure.
Or what are the shows that are on X platform? Or what actor is moving where? Or what business models are developing? So, and finding those niche opportunities that have a lot of growth and have a lot of interest to people has been a winner for us. And I see a lot of room for expansion there. But we still cover weird internet, because I love weird internet and different cultures in that environment. But it's resonating with the audience.
That's great. So I guess the last question, most of the people watching are not in journalism or not necessarily in media. A lot of people in digital marketing. What advice as a publisher who's really effectively engaging your audience and driving them to specific actions, what kind of advice would you give to just general digital marketers?
I'm learning so much from digital marketers right now. Yeah, it's the funny thing. We're super good at content and engaging. We're not publishers, We're not good at building out a customer funnel or developing the right CTAs for people. I think digital marketers and traditional publishers have a lot to learn from each other. Because you're right, digital marketers can't write copy. They can write shilly copy, or they go out and they hire an agency to write a bunch of copy for them. But what publishers are good at is understanding an audience and serving that audience. What marketers are good at is finding a customer and then trying to get that customer. And the good marketers are then serving that customer. So I think there are lessons to be learned from both sides of the houses. And from that is, don't just talk to other digital marketers. Talk to other publishers, talk to people who are good at content, and not just as potential places to advertise or lead generation, but just to learn from them. And by the flip side, buy an ad from a publisher. You guys, you actually need journalism to exist because people need something to read, and you need someplace to advertise. It is in your best interest to develop relationships with publishers that are producing journalism and for you to help finance them, because we will help you sell your shit.
You heard it here. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Thank you.